This is embarrassing. Even though this is a podcast, this is the second take. I'll post the bloopers. You know why? Because the mic wasn't connected. No, it was connected, but I didn't select it in the system preferences. I thought it would be intuitive to know, like, the USB mic supersedes Beats Pro microphone, but I guess I'm the dumb one. But okay, so it's my fault. I'm not blaming anyone, just trying to get to work and all that stuff, but it's okay. Fortunately, this episode is going to be a bit shorter for you folks, so if you're listening, it's just going to be less than 20 minutes, maybe 10, They're like, no, it's not a podcast, it's just a YouTube video. Who gives a shit? Alright, pardon my French. I don't speak French. Oh, parle petit français? Oh, okay. Alright, I'm getting distracted. I feel like right now I'm all over the place, but long story short, welcome to the African Psycho Loner podcast. It's been fun. This is not those little podcasts where people pretend like they're talking with someone. Like, I kind of like twist the angle and make it seem like I'm talking to someone. I'm like, yeah, what you're saying is true. Like, what you can think about it is that, I'm just going to look straight into the camera because it's a podcast between you and I. So if you feel like you want to say something, you want to interject, put that stuff in the comment section, give a timestamp. Then I can kind of get a context of what it is that you're responding to. You feel me? But long story short, this is a podcast where I'm just going to try to talk. Why am I starting a podcast by myself? Blah, blah, blah. Because simply put, I haven't been talking much unless I have to do stuff. And the people I talk to most are like my friends and stuff like that. But then I feel like, depending on whoever it is that you're talking with or your conversations, you're conversating with, you find yourself that at times you just fall into like little boxes and traps and like predictable conversation patterns, and not like you're talking about the same thing, but the way you talk about things is always the same, and then you never actually become an effective communicator, because effective communication isn't necessarily how well you communicate with the people you know. I think it's better yet described as how good you communicate with strangers or like people you don't know, like in public speaking settings, like waiting for a bus, all those little instances and moments that requires to actually communicate, but yeah, so that's why I'm doing this. I just want to be a better speaker, better talker, and also it's going to force me to like keep track of the things that run through my mind. Let's be honest, we live in a very super speedy world. The news, you can see everything that happens everywhere in the world. Music, everyone and his mother is an artist, which is fun because as a consumer, my taste, no matter how unique or weird they can be, I get to explore them. You know what I mean? Like, each subgenre has its own ecosystem that's thriving. It's not like back in the day whereby the people that were known were like the tippity top and everyone kind of like have to wait for whatever it is that they gotta say. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's kind of hard to keep track of things sometimes, and I'm also curious to see how I change and evolve as a person, like the things I talk about, the way I talk about things, kind of like tell how happy were you, how sad were you, whatever happened to this and this and this and this. So I'm gonna share mostly the things I care about, talk about. I feel like I might be over the place right now because I'm very anxious to go. And I hope you're anxious too. So if you're listening to this, it's okay. Next episodes are gonna be, oh my god, my camera just dipped. Oh, you gotta love it. Now you're gonna have to see my setup. Whew, that's what happens when you don't have a producer, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want you guys to see the chub yet, but it's me, your boy. If you're still around after that horrendous error, it's okay. It's a podcast. Mistakes happen, okay? So what are we going to talk about today? Things that I care about. If you go to my Instagram, I'll put the link. I'll also put a snapshot of what it looks like, the things I most identify as, first of all. husband, when you marry a dope woman, gotta tell the world, fam. You just gotta, it's like your one braggadocious thing that you can brag about. All right. And then tech stuff, because I'm your IT guy, So, and I love tech. It's interesting. It's fascinating. Like, everything about this is tech. The lighting, my laptop, my microphone, connect, everything. Like, you watching this tech somehow, So we get to learn tech stuff and all that stuff, and then hopefully build enough of you to convince you to go to my tech channel, where I'm like strictly just tech. I'm trying to be the next MKBHD without hardware. That sounds sus. That sounded sus. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking. And then I'm also gonna talk about the gym, because see, I'm trying to get bigger. I'm a nutty, so I have to focus on powerlifting, and COVID had me chopped up. So all in all, your boy chubby. And then what else can I think of? And then dancing, because I like to dance. But then dance and music, those are kind of like together, because I'm an avid consumer of music. I just love music and just love song. I went on a rant about how everyone is an artist now and whatever, and I think that's just literally the perfect way to describe what makes the world we live in so good, is that we have the best application on the planet, Spotify. I'm thinking of writing a video essay, like a love letter to Spotify, because I just love that app. I don't know, obviously it's the music on it, but they just, when you make associations with something, like the famous experiments, Pavlov's dog, ring the bell, you get food, you salivate, so you're making a connection. Well, yeah. But yeah, and then what else about me? I have to look at my Instagram to see. But then my phone is my camera. If you can see the little graphic I have on the side, if I have that, you're probably like, so I talked about tech, gym, dance, and lastly, philosophy. I love philosophy. Like all wet-brained individuals, I started my interest in philosophy because I thought I could find the meaning to the universe, trying to answer questions that I didn't have and stuff like that. So loving the love of knowledge, whatever they call it. And also it's kind of interesting to see how people have thought out throughout history. And I think I hate studying history because it's very monotone and death. I'm more interested of how the ideas have changed throughout history. Of course, there are interpretations. A lot of our famous philosophers and popular philosophers, their philosophies misconstrued and then used in different weird reasons throughout history. For example, one of my favorite philosophers, Nietzsche, a lot of his philosophies were co-opted by the Nazi regime because his sister was misinterpreting and misrepresenting what it is that he was all about. So, giving certain phrases without no context to it so that they can be like, oh yeah, the greatest mind of the generations is for our cause. And we all know what happened, the most atrocious things that have ever happened in recent times, I would say. But yeah, the world is full of way worse things and terrible things have been happening throughout history, but that's the most vivid one in our minds right now. So yeah, so that's what I like. I just like philosophy and trying to answer deep questions and stuff like that. And also it kind of helps me contextualize my theological understanding of things, contextualize even psychology and all that stuff. It kind of inspires me at a very meta level to understand everything and why things happen, and then my explorations of what things are actually happening, whether it's psychologically or socially or anthropologically or what, all those whatever psychology. you get what I'm trying to say, pause. But whatever that might be, you end up trying to finding your pattern in that. So Yeah, that's what I'm mostly gonna be focused on, and like just talk and have fun. And if you like any of those, you like them. If you don't, you don't. I'll try to like make clips of the things that I get deeper into and like come up with better topics. And maybe the reason why I have a problem speaking is because I'm just waffling. Whenever you waffle, you're just like, oh, that man waffling, fam. But anyway, the one takeaway for today, one thing that I learned from the gym that I don't want you guys to forget is that foundations are very important. Because I realized one weird thing. I can do I can bench 90 for dumbbells, like 90 pounds each for like dumbbells, flat bench, but that's also my inclined, whatever angle. And I think I can do 85 like straight up for like shoulder press, which made me realize obviously you should be way stronger, but on my flat bench it was because of like the, what do you call it, the lift off. I think Simeon Panda was talking about this, and I was like, you're just weak, you just focus on whatever. I mean, saying Simeon Panda is weak is kind of funny. So like I realized that the pickup and being well planted and suited, then you can bench more. And I feel like if I'm working out with someone and they can support me before like my first press movement, then I can probably do more. But since I work out at weird times, 4 a.m., I found myself in a very weird predicament whereby I have to like, can't really bench as hard as I want to do. But anyway, so lesson of the day, focus on the foundational stuff. That's where I'm focusing on this. What am I trying to gain from this? I want to be able to know how to edit, know how to talk, know how to just hold a thought, and then I'll try to like write out more things and try to be more expressive, just so that I can kind of like know what's up in my own head. Because I feel like in the world that we live in, there's so much happening so many times that we don't even know what life is. We just kind of go with the flow, and the less we go with the flow and the more we are the flow, the better we're going to be. So hopefully you stick around to the African Cycle podcast and you enjoy it, and then you become a super fan, and then you get t-shirts and merch, and maybe we have an app, and maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself. But anyway, thanks for the support, my few subscribers, and then as we grow, then who knows, we might be better, and I might have better content for y'all, and maybe you might start liking me more too. So peace out.